Systems thinking is a management discipline that concerns an understanding of a system by examining the linkages and interactions between the components of the defined system. If one element affects another element, then we should draw an arrow, also called as causal link, to connect those two elements. For example, if A affects B, then they should be linked by an arrow. When A increases and B also increases, then this relationship is a direct relationship which we denote with a positive sign. On the other hand, if A increases but B decreases, this is an inverse relationship which is denoted with a negative sign. From a bunch of arrows that connects together to form a loop, we can determine the characteristic of the feedback loop. There are two types, positive and negative. As a rule of thumb, if the total number of negative signs is even, then the feedback loop will be positive, which implies a reinforcing characteristic, which is interpreted as a continuously decreasing or increasing system. On the other hand, if the number of negative signs is odd, then the feedback loop will be negative, which implies a balancing characteristic, meaning that the system will increase or decrease until a steady state is reached. To better explain this concept, let's take a look at the problem of smoking from a system's perspective. Smoking has many implications. First and foremost, when people smoke, those that are within the vicinity will be inhaling second-hand smoke. An increase in smoking will cause the amount of inhaled second-hand smoke to increase, hence we denote it with a positive sign. Increased second-hand smoking will cause more unhappiness towards the insensitive smokers. And similarly for this relationship, we'll be denoting a positive sign. Increased unhappiness results in overall disapproval of the family due to the health concerns that smoking causes. Since an increase in unhappiness results in higher levels of disapproval, this relationship is also a positive relationship. Due to the increase in disapproval, it will then lead to the decrease in smoking by the smoker to please his family. In this loop, it constitutes of only one arrow for negative sign, thus indicating a negative polarity and is thus a balancing loop. Smoking also leads to more expenditure. Smokers can smoke 1 to 2 packs a day, spending up to $300 a month. Naturally, such heavy spending is not sustainable and will deplete the savings of the individual. The lack of savings will cause the stress level to increase. In order to escape from stress, smokers will turn to the cigarettes due to the release of opioids by brain structures that are stimulated by cigarettes. This is an example of a reinforcing loop showing continuous growth. Smoking will constantly be reinforced in this loop. On a molecular level, smoking results in an increase in nicotine level. Nicotine is a potent chemical which stimulates the adrenal glands to release a hormone called epinephrine. This hormone causes an increase in sugar metabolism by inducing a sudden release of glucose in the body. Increased blood glucose level in turn causes the body to feel sluggish and fatigued, which could lead to negative emotions. To overcome the negative emotions, the smokers would tend to reach out for more cigarettes. Thus, this results in a reinforcing loop where the presence of nicotine in cigarettes would cause the individual to smoke more. In addition, smoking also causes an increased exposure to carcinogens such as tar and carbon monoxide. Carcinogens are cancer-causing chemicals which results in damage to the lung epithelial cells. Over time, the prolonged damage on the lung epithelial increases the susceptibility of the individual to lung cancer. As apparent symptoms, such as coughing, sets in, there will be an increased self-awareness on the individual's deteriorating health. An increase in self-awareness would thus cause the individual to cut down on smoking to improve their health. This loop results in a balancing loop whereby the harmful effects of smoking would cause the individual to smoke less.